roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Cheney,
Here.
Adjunct,
Here.
Avon, O'Donnell,
Here.
Paduk, Ravello,
Here.
Eller,
Here.
Vice President Hicks.
Okay, so number one is request supplemental appropriation of funds for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for improvements to the water plant and water buildings. These upgrades were recommended in the facility condition assessment report. This is proposed capital project number 131 in the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This is a secret type 2 action. No further environmental review needed prior to appropriation. $108,400.
So moved. Second.
Cheney and Fagiano, you could highlight that for us, please, Lawrence?
Sure. So this is, as it states, is for our water plant building. We're looking to install a new generator, a chlorine analyzer, monitoring equipment and controls, an ATS switch, sink case for a circuit breaker panel, and gas heater to this building.
Any questions? Call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Parks and Recreation and Conservation. Welcome, Travis.
Thank you.
Okay, letter A, we have request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for the design and construction of rehabilitation and improvements of various historical structures. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed, project number 109. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project is a type 2 action as defined in section 617.5 of 6 New York CRR Part 617, the statewide seeker regulations, and it therefore is not subject to the provisions of those regulations. $700,000 bonding, request number 324.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Fagione and Benton, could you highlight that first, please, Travis?
Sure, thank you. This capital is to provide funds for rehabilitation and improvements on historic structures, various historic structures through our county park system, primarily for our museums and the powder mill structures at Algonquin Park. Our initial focus on this money will be mechanical systems at Hillhold and Brick House, upgrading the electric and the heat and the humidity control.
Any questions for the commissioner? Call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Letter B, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for the design and construction of maintenance facility rehabilitations and improvements at Camp LaGuardia, Chester, New York. This project has been approved under the 2025 DPW capital plan as proposed, project number 26. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project is a type 2 action as defined in section 617.5 of 6 New York CRR Part 617, the statewide seeker regulations, and therefore it is not subject to the provisions of those regulations. $3,800,000, request number 322.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Fagione, O'Donnell. Okay, Commissioner.
Thank you. This project actually was not originally in the 2025 capital plan. However, there was a $5 million project in the Public Works capital plan for demolition of structures at Camp LaGuardia. And in discussions with DPW, they've seen quite a bit of cost savings in how they were facilitating the demolition of the buildings there. They were doing it in-house with buildings and grounds and environmental facilities, staff and equipment, and they were able to do it for a lot more economically than they originally anticipated. So discussions I had with them was that there was going to be some money available, and we game plan to make a request for improvements to the maintenance facilities at the Camp LaGuardia site. The intention would be that this would be ultimately be a maintenance hub for parks to facilitate the future Camp LaGuardia park. and as well as Sugarloaf Mountain, Gonzaga Park, the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center, Warwick Park, because it would be more centrally located there. What we'd like to do with this money is do an evaluation of the existing maintenance building that's there. We believe that the structure itself should be in such condition that we could rehabilitate it. The roof is in pretty poor condition, but there's steel trusses under it that look like they're still very serviceable. And then make other improvements, bring electric into the site, water and sewer for restrooms, material storage area, small fuel island, construct that with these monies.
Several of us did a site visit there and agree fully with what you just explained.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming out for that.
Okay, any questions for the commissioner? Mr. O'Donnell?
Yeah, so I'm not sure you want to spend a whole lot of money there until you get a full plan of what's going on. All right, so you want to spend that money, build that building, build that, and then find out. You got somebody else come in and say, hey, they're building right in the middle of some great idea that we don't have yet. So that's my only concern.
Right.
Any other questions? Would you have an answer for that, Commissioner? Sorry.
I don't expect them to have it.
Well, no, on the master plan, we have a plan.
We do have a master plan for it.
We have a plan.
But he is correct that, there could be other things that need to go there that might be interfered with where we do some of the maintenance.
No, you don't have to repeat that one.
There's one.
However, the first step on this would be to evaluate that existing building to see if it's worthwhile saving.
Yeah, call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, letter C, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for the design and construction of maintenance facility improvements at Winding Hills Park, Montgomery, New York. This project has not been approved under the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. Serial bonding to come from unused funds and proposed capital projects number 106 and 97. This project is a type 2 action as defined in section 617.5 of New York CRR Part 617, the statewide seeker regulations, and is therefore not subject to the provisions of those regulations. $350,000, request number 323.
So moved. Second.
Bella and Fagione. Commissioner?
This is also a project that was not in the 2025 capital plan. However, there are two projects that we are not going in for the funding for that were in the plan that will offset the cost of this project. This would be to make improvements at the maintenance facilities for Winding Hills Park. Right now, there's a small, somewhat rundown maintenance building that they store a portion of their equipment in. It's, I think it's 20 by 30 building. A lot of the equipment to perform the maintenance work at that park is stored outside. They don't have a area to do repairs on their equipment. A lot of that happens in the parking lot, which is not conducive, especially during the winter time when a lot of our maintenance on our equipment ends up taking place. So this would be to make improvements at the new larger building. And once the other building is up, we'll go back and further rehab the existing building.
Do we have any questions? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.
All right, next up, Department of Public Works. Okay, letter A, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for work at Camp LaGuardia property to improve, preserve, and secure the property, including raising buildings, disposal, environmental monitoring, environmental reporting, and costs related to securing buildings and perimeter, including vegetation and rubbish removal, fencing and security monitoring. These activities constitute a type 2 action under seeker 6 New York CRR 617.5 requiring no further environmental review. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed project number 26 upon approval. This will increase existing capital project number 251, 1,200,000, request number 321.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second that. Fagione and Benton. Okay, Commissioner, if you could highlight that for us, please.
Sure, thank you. I spoke to physical services last night. Also, Travis mentioned for parks, the balance of this money going to that maintenance, development of that maintenance facility, building restoration of that campus area. So we've been able to save a tremendous amount of money by doing the demolition in-house with our environmental facilities and services crews, in conjunction with our health and building and grounds staff. And with that balance of the money, good portion of that we discussed with parks to go to that item that Travis just discussed. This one would be a smaller portion of that money to finish the demolition of Camp Guardian, mainly building 1, which is the largest building out there, which we do now plan to do in-house as well. We originally anticipated having to bid that out, but after further evaluation, our crews are comfortable doing it. We're going to rent some larger equipment. We can save a lot of money once again. That's to reuse.
Any questions for the Commissioner? Yeah, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Letter B, request supplemental appropriation to the capital project budget for restoration of the 1862 Minnesink Monument. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed project number 62. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. These activities constitute a type 2 action under seeker section 617.5 of New York CRR part 617, requiring no further environmental review. 250,000 bonding, request number 319.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Fagione, Cheney. Okay, Commissioner.
Okay, this monument is at the 1887 building right out front on Main Street. It is there to signify the Battle of Minnesink of 1779, where 46 local militiamen were killed, and I believe a mass grave has been built somewhere in Goshen. This monument represents that. There is a group in Goshen, local group Daughters of the American Revolution, who have been pushing for the restoration of this important monument. It's made of granite and marble. There are 2 marble eagles missing for a very long time now. Out of 4, it's top of the figure of hope pointing upward. And this project would be ultimately to restore the monument.
Any questions from the committee? Legislator O'Donnell?
Thank you. Been a long time coming, but they'll be very, very happy with this resolution. That group worked very hard to get this money and get it restored. I know the county exec promised them to deliver, and thank the county exec on behalf of that group. That's very much appreciated. If they find those eagles, they'll really be thrilled.
I told him to check with the historian in the basement next to the bell.
Somebody
but-
stole. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, letter C, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for the DPW administration building renovation and addition. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed project number 25. Upon approval, this will increase existing capital project number 252, resolution number 289 of 2024, classified the action as an unlisted action and determined the action will not have any significant adverse environmental impacts. 1,900,000, request number 320.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Fagione and Ravello. Okay, Commissioner.
Thank you. So this is, we've been in front of the legislature before for preliminarily for some funding to, especially for the design, which we're about 65% of the way through.
It's been a couple of years, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple years in the making. We're very close to getting completed with design. We anticipate putting it out to bid in 2026, hopefully early 2026. This is our administration building where my office is. It's directly across the parking lot from the garage where the fuel pumps are over there. And ultimately, we'll be getting employees out of the kind of outhouse, the outbuilding for the EF&S staffing, where Bob's office is, Bob Gray's office, across the parking lot, which is really initially was intended as a temporary setup. It somehow became permanent over the years, as well as getting people out of our basement in our main building, where we really don't have much natural daylight at all. There's only one window in the entire basement down there, so get people upstairs, better work environment. The only thing beyond this, once we get it out to bid, would be to come back just for the fixtures and furniture, the FF&E portion of this, which I think was estimated roughly around $100,000. We'll do that in the later point. Once we get further in and get bids, or at least get closer to bidding.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Letter D, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for the Goshen garage improvements. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed. Capital project number 24. Upon approval, this will increase existing capital project number 253. These activities constitute a type 2 action under Seeker section 617.5 of New York CRR part 617, requiring no further environmental review. $1,400,000, request number 329.
I'll second that.
Donald and Fagione. Okay, Commissioner.
All right, this building also went through physical services last night. This is directly across the street from the admin building, which I just referenced. On the other side of the pumps, this is where most of our equipment is kept in Goshen, plow trucks and whatnot, as well as our central motor pool, our heavy equipment maintenance area. Currently, previously had come in for funding for the first portion of this project, which is the window replacements, which is a lot of windows in this building. That is currently underway, including asbestos remediation from the window caulking. As I mentioned last night, if you go out there and you look, the new black frame windows are giving a much more modern look to the building, really giving it a facelift. This portion for the money we're coming in for today is going to have more to do with the roofing, the windows, the doors. I'm sorry, not the windows, but the roofing, the doors, and then some office improvements within the building as well, including the break room facility. Building's been somewhat ignored for a number of years. Again, giving our employees a much better work environment over there. And there's also going to be potentially some additional asbestos remediation for parts of the rest of the building.
Any questions? I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, letter E, request supplemental appropriation for the Harriman wastewater treatment plant upgrade and expansion project for a maximum project cost of $204,437,975. The county has applied for low-cost borrowing and grants to the state of New York to offset the amount. This is not in the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. Request number 342.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. Fagione and others. Okay, Commissioner.
Okay, we spoke about this at physical services last night as well, which passed. This is the sewer plant project, which many of you are familiar with, and Harriman, the expansion project. We've discussed over the course of the last many months, and even years, about the grant opportunities that we're also pursuing, as well as having to go to the comptroller's office for their approval, because this is a special district. So in order to increase rates there, you have to get the comptroller's approval. We did do a intent to bond. We were previously in front of the legislature for that several months ago, and that was to get one of the applications moving as well. With now in consultation with the bond council, and in that intent to bond, there was a stipulation there to get the resolution to bond within a certain amount of time as well. So basically, we're here, all these grant opportunities and low interest loans that we're pursuing through CWSRF and the bill, the BIL, the WQIP, the WIA, the WIIA, all these opportunities all require us to show a resolution for bonding, to show that we're serious about the project, that we can fulfill the project, before they give us all the money. This would be absolutely the maximum amount where we would anticipate actually bonding for a lot less once we get, because this does not include any of the reduction for any of the grants that we need to get. But we do anticipate getting multi-million dollars in grants. This makes it so we can move forward and ensure that we do get some, take advantage of some grant monies and the ones for.
Any questions? Legislator Rivera?
You know what that makes the rates in the area?
Say again?
When we get this bond, we'll have to make payments.
Yeah.
What will the rates be going forward?
I don't have those here. They are in the report, and we went through the secret process, and with the legislature showing that, would be within the intent of our best interest of the district, of the users. Those rates were discussed previously. We can send them to you. But we do have the information somewhere. But it's in the full, all the reports that we did.
Excuse me, and it's also dependent upon how much grant funding.
Correct. It was sort of a range that was in there.
You know how much you apply for grants with the maximum is?
Well, actually, let me back up a second. I do recall some of the numbers around right now. The rates were somewhere around, I think it was $500 or $600, and they could potentially go up to about 1,000 or so per unit.
And again, that's a high number.
Yeah, I think
Per year.
per year.
Thank you.
Was that or is there another question?
I think. Very good question. No, but this is.
Oh, yeah, that was the other question. How much the grant monies? There was varying grant monies. Some of them, actually.
Some I think we're at 5 million. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, but somewhere.
Yeah.
Some of them 20, so.
2020.
There was some up to 25 million, which was the Water Infrastructure Improvement Act. It's up to 25 million. Up to 10 million is the WQIP, Quality Improvement Program. Some of it was low interest borrowing. I think the bill looks like it's a 50% grant, 50% zero interest, 30-year loan up to 25 million each.
Yep.
And then I think that was it. I don't remember for now. The CWSRF had some combination of loans and grants as well. So we just don't know how much of that we're going to get.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Okay, next up, we have real property. A request supplemental appropriation to utilize assigned fund balance from acquisition and renovate office space assignment to purchase 70 Hatfield Lane in the Village of Goshen, New York. Section 126, Block 1, Lot 5.1, in the amount of $6,900,000. Said purchase received legislative approval in resolution number 255 of 2025, dated October 2nd, 2025. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. Request number 304.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Fagione and Benton. Okay, Director, please highlight that for us.
Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. As it says in the description, this is to assign fund balance for the $6.9 million purchase of 70 Hatfield Lane, which was approved by the legislature back in October. So now this is just us coming forward to assign the money from the one account into the other to go forward with the purchase.
Any questions from the committee? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, letter B, annual resolution. This is a request to authorize the Commissioner of Finance for the County of Orange to make refunds or corrections of errors in taxes in the amount of $2,500 or less. Request number 316.
I'll make that motion.
Fagione? Benton? Okay.
So this is an annual request that we make per state law to allow us to do corrections of errors for $2,500 or less without having to get approval by the legislature. The maximum is the $2,500 that the state allows. This allows us to do a lot of the corrections of error for people's taxes from when there's a mistake made somewhere in the billing process that we don't have to bother you for. So the majority of the correction of errors do fall under the $2,500. We don't have to take up your time.
Any questions from the committee? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a
everyone.
great holiday. All right, next up, we have Commissioner Finance. Their team. Good afternoon. Sales tax.
Sure. So we are done for the month of November. In the month of November, we received 2 payments for sales tax. Both of these payments came in below projected plan for a total of $1.8 million or 7.5%. Year to date, the county is still under projected plan by $8.3 million or 3.52%. In the month of December, we will get 3 payments. Again, as I've stated the past few months, we are trying to chip away at this gap, but this is a big gap to fill to meet our projected budget for the year.
Okay, any questions? Questions from the committee? Okay, I guess that was short and
Yeah.
sweet.
Shop local.
Yeah, exactly. Not much you can do.
Thank you very much.
People to spend money in town.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
next up is
Have a
our,
great holiday.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Budget Director Deborah Slazinski, and you're the deputy with you too. Okay, and Queen Messina's here too for a budget update.
So this is our October budget report. Revenues for 2025 to 2024 is a deficit of $11 million. That is basically due to the federal revenue sources. Basically, it's family assistance, DSS admin, and the food source. That's 4.2 deficit. And planning has a grant funded also. So they're going into the grant fund. So that's a $4 million debt. So hopefully next year we won't see that in the grant fund. We'll just have a blank. Expenses, 2025 to 2024 is an increase of $4.8 million. Okay, so personal services and fringe benefits are $7.5 million. In the general fund, we have 215 vacant positions, and in total, we have 261 vacant positions. Contractual increases are 28 million. All right, so that's community college tuition is $3.7 million, but that's because last year they did it in November and December, so that will be swapped out for next year. DSS is Medicaid daycare vendor payments. That's $10 million. Medical services is $1.9 million. That's encompassed by the jail. And the transfers are $9.7 million. That would be the capital that we would use to do bonding for and some of our properties that we acquired.
You have any good news?
Not really.
Any questions for the director? We'll just take a vote.
I just wondered if you had any anticipation on the funding coming back, that funding you're talking about.
I hope so. I hope so. Hopefully it will be maybe in December or January.
So,
Get that into the 25 budget.
how much do you expect will be coming back?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's supposed to be the full amount.
It should be. It should be.
It should be. Okay, any other questions? Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Happy Thanksgiving,
So moved.
everyone.
Second.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.